Hi, everybody. Welcome to Life Stories Podcast, People Helping People. I'm Shara Goswick, your host. My guest today is Rick Hill. Rick is one of the longest living documented survivors of advanced cancer without the use of chemo or radiation. We talked about what eating healthy really means, what that looks like. We talked about his treatment plan and what he did and what you can do. And if you've ever been curious about different options aside from what we normally hear about when we learn about these diseases, I encourage you to listen and maybe send this to someone that you know could benefit from it. I think the older I get, the more I am paying attention to my health and my body and what to do and what not to do. I didn't take it seriously when I was younger, and I wish I had done some things differently. But this was a great conversation, and I thank you for being
Rick, I
here.
have looked forward to this for a while. You are doing something that I just believe in so strongly, and there's a lot of controversy about it. I completely love what you're doing and what you're teaching people because I just think it's important. I've not ever been put in the situation you were in, and it's hard for me to say I know exactly what I would do, but I can tell you I would wanna do exactly what you did.
Yeah.
You are one of the longest living documented cancer survivors without doing chemotherapy or radiation. That is incredible. That is incredible. Can you tell me how old you are today?
I'm 75.
And you have no cancer diagnosis, it's not come back, you are living healthy. I read that you are not on any prescription medications or anything like that.
I've never had a relapse, never taken chemo, never taken radiation. And I was at the Mayo Clinic,
Yeah.
diagnosed with stage 3 embryonal high grade, which is like stage 4,
Okay.
embryonal cell carcinoma, cancer of the lymphatic system. So it's like a super highway.
Yeah,
And it goes to every organ in your body.
right.
So when I tell my story, when we get started, you'll see that the chemotherapist signaled for me that he couldn't help me.
Wow.
That's when I left and I went to TJ
Yeah.
and I got well and stayed well. But I worked at it,
Oh, absolutely.
not automatic.
Absolutely. Yeah. How old were you when you got that diagnosis?
24.
Wow. Wow. So what what was your first thought when you got the diagnosis and then they told you there's nothing we can do for you? What was your first thought? I can't imagine hearing those words because it's got to be overwhelming. Even if you knew you were going to work hard, it's still kind of scary.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'd like to tell you that I'm a tough guy, but I'm not. And I was on morphine down to 120 pounds.
Wow.
So this was not a head cold that they were treating me for.
Yeah.
And the story, what I thought, I showed up on a Friday in Rochester, Minnesota, after I'd had 10 hours of exploratory surgery.
Yeah.
Remember, they didn't have scans back then.
Right.
So they just cut, it's like an autopsy. I'm from here all the way down.
Oh,
And after 10 hours, they sewed me back up and said, everywhere we looked, it was on your neck, it was on your feet,
oh my goodness.
in the lymphatic system. So then on Friday, they were going to start doing chemotherapy. They said, we'll start chemo on Monday. And I said, okay. I didn't know. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I would, but I knew I didn't feel good. I knew I was in a bad mood. Morphine tends to do that. You start talking to the pink elephant in the corner of the room. And so I got a letter that day, 10-cent stamp.
Wow.
So I'm telling the truth on
Lock
timing.
and go.
And the letter said, Rick, if you want to live, you're going to have to leave the Mayo Clinic.
Wow.
And I said, what is this? Called the guy that sent me the note because I knew him. And I said, whatever you're smoking, send me some.
Right.
Because this can't be a rational decision.
Yeah.
He said, no, it is. He was a pastor. He said, I've had several of my people in my church go down to this place in Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, they got well right away.
Wow.
And I said, and he said, they're not using anything toxic. You don't even get sick.
Mm.
I said, why haven't I heard about this? He said, because it's a food product
Right.
and it can't be patented
Yep.
and there's no money in it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what's the food? He said, are you sitting down? I said, yeah. He said, it's made from apricots. And I said, so, they told me to have my family fly in to say goodbye. He said, yeah, I knew that. I said, you want me tonight to say I'm going to leave the Mayo Clinic. I'm going to go to Tijuana and I'm going to have apricot oil shoved in my veins. Do I have that about right, John? Just want to know. I said, this is the craziest call I've ever had.
Yeah.
But I said, I have an appointment with the chemotherapist this afternoon, and I'm going to tell him what you said. Last thing he said to me was, good luck with that, pal.
Right. Right.
So to end the story, I went to the Mayo Clinic, told the chemotherapist what he had told me, and expected to learn new swear words that day.
Right.
Get out of here. Instead, he leaned back in his chair, did one of these, and he said, Rick, it is warm in Tijuana this time of year. And I said, message delivered. Thank you for your honesty. And I'll probably never see you again. And 2 days later, I was in Tijuana. So that night at dinner, I told my family about the day's events, and they were furious.
Mm.
All of them. My older brother said, we always knew you were stupid.
Oh, gosh.
We just didn't know how stupid. And we got to my father and he said, ditto. But we got to my father-in-law and he stood up and said, I like it. I'll take him down there and I'll help pay for it.
Wow.
And I said, deal. Because the chemotherapist member had signaled me,
Yeah.
we're going to help you. I don't think he thought Tijuana was going to help me, the Oasis of Hope Hospital. Probably heard of it.
Yeah.
Dr. Contreras. I don't think he was rubber stamping it. I think he thought if you want to lay on the beach and sip tequila, it doesn't make any difference at this, Rick. You're a dead man walking. That's what I think I heard. So I showed up. And my history is a Detroit greaser. I mean, I got the Fonz hairdo. I got the whole thing. And long leather jacket. And I walk into this tree hugger palace. These people are stone ground. And I looked at my father-in-law and I said, what have I done? I don't know these people. This is not my crowd. I've never been in a health food store. I don't want to go to a health food store. My mother was born on Sand Mountain, Alabama. My father was born on Tyler. And they knew Southern cooking. I make cornbread, buttermilk cornbread.
Right.
And I know how to fry everything in lard. Wait, by the way, it's coming back. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
People using lard. Ooh, no. And I just made a commitment. And I want your listeners to know how important this is. So if you're doing something else, cleaning out your wallet, clipping your nails, stop. Here's what I want you to know. You don't have to blend. You don't have to blend. You just have to be willing to change. And people say, well, you're so brave. You believed that. No, I didn't. I got on that airplane, kissed my wife goodbye, and I said, I don't think I'm coming home.
Wow.
But I was willing
Right.
to do whatever they suggested because my church had stepped in the gap and paid for part of it. My father-in-law had stepped in the gap. The chemotherapist had kind of told me, hey, you're not going to make it if you stay here, pal. So I turned into one of those people. Now I didn't learn how to say, oh, wow, or, all those things. I didn't hum, but I started eating everything organic and I was fasting a couple days a week and juicing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking B17 and I even was taking, and I love these. These are the pro enzymes. That's the most important product we make.
What is in the
And
pro enzymes?
good question. Because what's in here is not in the enzymes. that you buy in health food stores or on Amazon or anything. There's chymotrypsin
Okay.
and trypsin in here. Those are pancreatic enzymes that you made when you were a baby, right here in your pancreas. The reason I know that, and I will send your listeners a free book to prove it,
Awesome.
a PDF form, electronic, called World Without Cancer. And in chapter 5 of Ed's book, he tells the story of Dr. John Beard, who was a Scottish embryologist. That's where our families come from that settled in Tyler. Yeah.
Mm.
So he said that when babies enter their second or third month, their pancreas kicks in and floods their bodies with chymotrypsin. And the reason they do that is because babies have trophoblast cells, these aggressive, fast-growing cancer cells. We call it cancer. They're just a normal cell
Right.
because we humans have to grow quickly. See what I mean? But you don't want it taking over. So in the second or third month, you flooded your body and your mother's body with this valuable enzyme and stopped it all. So then this guy said, what if I gave it to adults that already had cancer? When I got cancer, I didn't have an umbilical cord, didn't have a mother. So I bought enzymes.
Yeah.
And they gave them to me at the Oasis of Hope Hospital. And lots of them. So I've been well for 51 years.
Wow.
I take these twice a day on an empty stomach. Even though they'll digest food for you, I'm looking for them to digest food. I'm looking for them to digest protein off of cancer cells that are hiding behind it. Dr. Soon, that Tucker Carlson interviewed recently, he calls it masking, that the cells mask so they can't be killed. When you dissolve the mask, your own immune system works for you. But what protects me today? Enzymes.
That's
Now, I still take a little B17, and that's the controversial one because it has a little cyanide in it, but so do lima beans. So does sorghum.
Yeah.
So does molasses. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've selected against those foods
Yeah.
because the FDA didn't want us anywhere near these apricot products. So you've got to have some questions by this.
Oh, I have lots of so many questions. So going back to when you went to the hospital, what did the treatment look like? Like how long were you there? Was it months and months and months, or did they get you going and send you home and tell you how to treat yourself? What did they do?
21 days.
21 days. Wow.
That's it.
That's it.
There was a lady on my Facebook page, name is Betty. She came the same time I was there. She had glioblastoma brain cancer, spread to her spine, couldn't walk. She walked out 21 days later with me, out the door,
Yeah.
on her own power, and she's on my Facebook account,
Yeah.
living in Key West,
Oh my goodness.
too much sun, too many grandkids,
Wow.
and has never had a relapse. I'm one of 100,000 people that have done this successfully. You just never hear about it. The guy that I work with, John Richardson, who manufactures this stuff, his father was John Richardson, MD.
Okay.
He was thrown in prison, father, and lost his medical license because he treated about 100 of us that got well. And the government said, we can't do this.
Yeah.
Now today you hear about ivermectin and fenbin and menbin
Right.
and mistletoe and soursop and those are all good, but they're not like this.
Yeah.
This has turned the tide for many people.
You talked about apricot oil, and I hear a lot about apricot seeds. Is that just as good or the same thing, or is that just completely different?
The apricot injectable that I took in an oil form right here,
Yeah.
and like the guy under the bridge. It's derived from the apricot seeds.
Okay.
They cold press it. Oil comes out. They put it in your arm or anywhere your vein,
Yeah.
and the seeds are really for maintenance.
Oh,
Just
okay.
be a little bit in your blood, or you could take the 100 milligram capsule for maintenance.
Yeah.
That's like eating 6 seeds
Okay.
for 100 milligram.
Yeah.
So every day I take 4 capsules, 2 at 10 and 2 at 2. Can you tell how old I am that I'm writing? These old people, man, they're worthless.
Oh, that's
So,
funny.
yeah, I'm kidding. But yeah, and then I take 1, maybe 2 of the capsules of Laetrile because my immune system is protecting me.
Right.
I take a little bit of Laetrile now, but when I was at the clinic, I took a lot. Like I took 6 grams.
Oh, wow.
Grams.
That's a lot.
Be like 50 seeds in my arm every day. And so that was for treatment. We also have, this is called proancelin,
Okay.
and is a liposomal. Can you read? No, it's upside down.
Upside down. Yeah. There you go.
Liposomal. And that's really neat because you can drink it instead of, and you only need like a quarter of a teaspoon a day, an ounce a day. So it's way more sophisticated today and way easier today, but it doesn't work better today than it did 50 years ago. Still, what's available to your viewers is what I took. Now, I can get you the injectable for the vein.
Oh, wow.
But buddy, that would give you the shots. I don't want you doing it yourself. Like I said, the guy under the bridge, But the second part of the thing, which you probably want to discuss a little bit, is the diet,
Yes.
because that's where the rubber meets the road.
Mhm.
It isn't whether you can take a shot or whether you can take the enzymes orally. That's not a lot of work. It's not hard to do. But if one of your people call me, by the way, let me give away that book.
Okay.
And then if they log on to B17works.com, www.b, like be like boys, the number 17, works, plural.com. I'll send them Ed Griffin's book,
Okay.
Grow Without Cancer. I'll send them my book, which is Too Young to Die. Not a scholarly treatise because I wrote it. Big print, pictures. It's Rick.
Great information, though.
And entertaining. It's one story after another.
Yeah.
So, but it gives people hope.
Yeah.
I define hope as helping other people escape.
That's
And
good.
that's a worthwhile hope.
That's good.
So,
Absolutely.
and if they'll log on to B17works.com, they'll fill out a little 1-page questionnaire. I'm HIPAA certified. I'm not going to tell anybody what they said. But I'll contact them
Okay.
either by email or by a phone call. If they leave a big history and say, I'm in trouble, I'll probably call and give them, I won't tell them what to do.
Right.
Because I'm not a doctor, but I will tell them what I did and give them ideas on how I did it and go over the diet with them. And if they say, well, you know what, Rick, I think no, I'm not giving up the Diet Coke. I like to have a cigarette now and then. I'm not going to give up the cornbread and beans with bacon drippings all over them. And I say, then save your money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell it to you because I need a yes in that box.
Right.
Because the people that fail at this are usually the people that take everything okay, and then about the 3rd or 4th month they get bored. They want to go for pizza and beer.
Yeah.
Right. I do too. I like the way beer tastes. I like the pizza taste, especially the real toxic one, with the candy all over it. I like the burger with the onion ring in it and it drips off, grease drips off
Mhm.
your arm when you're at. Yeah. But I can't because my body is listening to me like yours is. And if I sit down in front of that big, juicy, greasy, my immune system is going to go, what is the matter with him? This is what he was doing when we had our life threatened. Rick, don't do it. Don't do it. So I tell them, look, if you go to the Oasis of Hope Hospital in Tijuana, where I went, beautiful place, 5-story hospital now with oncologists and 24-hour nursing, a private room and organic meals. You'd love to visit there, but it's 40 grand.
Mm,
Okay. If you can DIY it, you're able to, you're less than $1,000.
right.
So they're happy to hear from me until I say, let's talk about what you eat. And they think, now he's gone from helping to meddling. And we don't like meddling. I don't care.
Right. If you're serious about it, you'll do it. You'll do it.
A- And I've done it my whole life. Now, there's been little periods where I backslid a little.
Mhm.
And I say, get back on the horse. Don't get down on yourself because your immune system knows what you're doing.
Right.
And if they know your intent is to get back in there and eat those big salads, and organic vegetables and organic fruits, and do those smoothies and juice, an occasional fast, they're in your corner. And they're
Absolutely.
going to release those healing, like killer cells, because you've already dissolved the protein coating. The killer cells come floating along and they go, there they are. Those are cancer cells. Aren't. And it's called apoptosis. Boom. And they're gone.
That's
And
amazing.
your own body is healing you. The Laetrile is only for backup, but the government has attacked that because they found a handle in the word cyanide. And yet, when this B17 that we have gets to a healthy cell, it's not released
Mm.
because the healthy cell, only the cancer cell has beta glucosidase. I know you're going to want to write that down. That's on tomorrow's quiz. Beta glucosidase, it releases that. That makes the cyanide work, and bam, no war. All right, your turn.
I believe that God created our bodies to heal themselves, but we have to do the work just like you talked about. We can't just be eating all the crap and just expect to, be okay and take a few vitamins and we're all good. I know that there's a lot of changes that have to be made, and I've talked to other people on here before where we've talked about what a vicious cycle it is in that people who cannot afford healthy food are eating crappy food, which is keeping them sick all the time. And I mean, it's just this cycle, and people are not getting well because of that. And I hate that. How important is it for people that are listening and saying, organic doesn't matter? I don't need to, worry about eating just that stuff. How important is organic?
Organic is important for a couple of reasons. The first one is your body knows the difference. And I'm serious about this thing of communicating with your own body.
Mhm.
Your body knows. Your body says, well, you never read the literature, but we have. We intuitively know that those chemicals are going to kill you eventually, and they're cumulative. So when people say organic food is more expensive, what do they mean by that? You know, the biggest reason that Americans filed bankruptcy last year was after insurance billing,
I believe it.
if they couldn't afford to pay it.
I believe it.
So you want expense? I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, you go ahead and do the chemo and radiation and your insurance will run out
Yeah.
and you'll have to go to court to try and survive.
That's
So
crazy.
no, I eat gluten-free, I eat chemical-free, I filter my water, I have air purifiers in my home. They're putting stuff in the air now with these
Yeah.
chemtrails, and leave me alone.
Right.
I don't need that crap.
Right.
And I'm angry that you're doing it.
Yeah. You mentioned how our bodies are listening to us, and I've been reading The Body Keeps the Score about trauma, and I totally believe with you. I'm learning a lot of things. But do you believe that our emotions, the way, stress and fear and all these things, do you think those are affecting our health?
Oh, yeah, they've run tests.
Yeah.
Even plants react to what we're reacting to.
Wow.
Dogs do. Our dogs can tell when we're depressed, and they'll come up and, try and get us it fixed and the whole thing. Thoughts are things,
Yeah.
and they can measure them outside our body. So we've just never taken that really seriously.
Yeah.
But when I sit down and I got this big, beautiful salad and I'm excited, and I think to myself, I'd like to have today some really crispy fried chicken, you know, greens, cornbread that I made, not this Yankee Johnny cake crap out there. Maybe once a year, I'll eat
Mm.
one of those. But the rest of the time, I'm not going to eat that because I'm 75 and I've got grandkids and I want to see their kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be wheeling myself along in some kind of contraption at that time.
Right.
And people say, everybody, yeah, I want to enjoy my life. And I want it. And I think, have you ever been in a hospital and see how they're enjoying that life?
Right.
And they say, well, no one lives forever. Okay, fine. But I would like to feel good for the whole time I'm living.
And I can imagine, you talk about eating so healthy. I can imagine that eating junk after eating so healthy, your body probably just feels awful afterwards. I mean, when you're so used to eating so good, I know it sounds good and I get that, but you probably don't feel good after you eat it.
Usually not. Usually you'll be running to the bathroom pretty quickly after that. And your body certainly appreciates and knows the difference between fake food and real food.
Right.
Um, and you're rewarded. I mean, I go into the grocery store and I see people my age. They're leaning on their cart,
Yeah.
you know, and I see them leave the grocery store with a cart full of sugar. And I want to just grab them and shake them. But they think that's what life, they're enjoying their life. And I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I think that's a false assumption that if you're honest with yourself, you say, I I just here's the good news. Really good organic food, you can learn to make it. I can make a hamburger. I can do it with organic ground beef,
Mhm.
gluten-free bread, organic tomato, organic lettuce, organic a little bit of ketchup.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, with a vegetable salad with it, with and and that's not the best food I could be eating, but it's not toxic.
Right.
And once in a while, a treat like that, even when I was in treatment, about once a week, I'd make myself a little bit of like 4 ounces of broiled chicken,
Mm.
but I'd have a side of pinto beans with it. I made the cornbread, so I didn't put all the junk in it. You can get good at it, so the good food you're eating is pretty tasty,
Yeah.
and you can have if I go to somebody's house, it's a birthday party, and they slop a big piece of cake, I say, "Oh, man, the doctor took me off of this, but it's your birthday, I'm gonna eat this little part of it."
Yeah.
So I'm celebrating with them
Right.
without making myself toxic. You
Absolutely.
learn how to deal with stuff like that.
This is such great information, and I can't wait to share it with people and make sure they have your website and the ability to get the free books and all the things. But if you could leave one last thought with our listeners today, what would it be?
We are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Perfect.
And we screw it up.
Yeah.
And if we'll
We did.
just give God a chance. You know, uh, the servant of Abraham said when he got Isaac a wife, rode 450 miles on a sweaty camel to get to that well. Don't you think halfway through that they went, "What are we doing?"
Right.
That's how I felt going to Tijuana. But he said, "No, I didn't doubt all that because I being in the way, the Lord led me. I knew I was in the will of God, so I believed that that was where
Right.
I should be." And that's what I want them to know. This has been cared for from all eternity. And yeah, they should have hope, not fear.
That's good. That's good. Rick, this has been so great. I'm so glad I got to talk to you today and learn all of this. I cannot wait to share it with people. Thank you very much for being a guest today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It was so good to talk to you.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Life Stories Podcast. There are a few ways you can support me so that I can continue putting out great content. You can like and share this episode, send it to a friend that you think might be encouraged by it, subscribe to my channel, whichever format you're listening to, and tell people about my podcast. You can also buy me a virtual coffee. The link is below and it's also at the bottom of my website. Every donation helps me continue doing what I'm doing. Thanks for being here.